And what's up, everybody? I'm back with another playoff predictions video, and it is that time again to predict the 2023 NASCAR Cup playoffs. The cut line was just set last night at Daytona. A wild race for sure. If you want to hear my full reactions to the race and everything, check out this week's episode of the Talkin' NASCAR podcast with Hitmaster. We will also get Hitmaster's championship predictions. We're going to do in that episode. You're going to hear more about the playoffs from me as well. So go check it out. It'll be great. But I always do the playoff predictions for the four majors, the five sports in America that are most watched. And so, NASCAR, MLB, NHL, and NFL, all of them. So here we go. Also, peep the lamp in the background. We just moved that down here. I don't know if it's actually going to just stay there or whatnot. Who knows? But anyways, I've got the grid pulled up on my phone. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through each race and we're going to predict who's going to win the race. And then at each round, who's going to get eliminated. And when we get down to 4, I will predict who's going to win the championship. So let's jump right into it, shall we? So the first round, obviously, who's in my opinion going to be a big contender. William Byron is doing really good. I think he's going to be a strong contender for the win. Martin Truex, the regular season champion, is going to do pretty well, I think, as well. But I think the hottest driver going into the playoffs is Chris Buescher. And he could really make some noise in this playoffs. 3 out of the last 5 races, he has won. RFK has been on a really big uptick in performance overall as a group. Brad Keselowski running up front a lot as well. He's bound to get back to victory lane at any point now. And he's in the playoffs. He can make a little bit of noise too. Kevin Harvick is always that kind of sleeper driver. It's his last season. Can he make a run at the championship? And Michael McDowell's been pretty solid this season. How is he going to do? And some other drivers that really haven't made a lot of noise might be able to make some of those noises in the postseason. So we'll see. But how do we think the schedule is going to go? So first race of the first round is Darlington, the Southern 500. And I don't know who this is a toss-up because of tire wear and also longevity for engines. So I really don't know who's the best going into this. But I don't know. I think for endurance reasons, I'm probably going to pick Truex to win this race. I think he's going to have a strong start to the playoffs, and it's going to cultivate with a win in the Southern 500. So I think that's how it's going to go. The second race of the playoffs is what race is the second round of the playoffs? I already forgot. Let's check. Let's check right now. It's Kansas. That's right. Kansas is also another toss-up. I think this is where the contenders and the pretenders are really going to be separated from each other. Darlington's going to be kind of an equalizer, kind of an up and down crap fest with the tires and stuff, like I said. Kansas, though, it's going to be more of the equalizer. I'm going to pick I'll pick William Byron to win this one. I think he's going to have a good run and get the win and move on too. And then the cutoff race, the night race at Bristol, which I'm not going to this year. I was there last year, but not this year. Who do I think is going to win that race? I'm going to go with the sleeper. I'm going to pick Chris Buescher to win this one. He won there last year. He's been pretty good on the short tracks and is going to carry some momentum into a good run into the second round of the playoffs. And who do I think is going to get eliminated in the first round? I think we're going to get the obvious one out of the way. Bubba Wallace. He's just not been as strong as the rest. He barely got in, and it's just not looking like he's really going to make any noise in the playoffs. Now, Kansas, he has a win at Kansas. Maybe that will transfer into another win. He could Cinderella his way into the second round. Bristol's always a toss-up. He could shock some people at Darlington. So he could make it. I'm not saying he just won't, but it's very unlikely. And he's my first pick to be eliminated. I'm also going to take the less popular pick and also eliminate Kevin Harvick. He's coming in 15th. He hasn't really done much this season. He has been pretty mediocre. And he's just not going to have, I think, the points boost needed to move on in the playoffs. There's no track on the first round that really stands out as a Kevin Harvick track. There are tracks on the playoff schedule as a whole that stand out as that. Phoenix, obviously. But none that I really think are true golden pieces for Harvick. Now, I, again, could be wrong. He has a chance to get his way in on points, barely sneak into the second round, and maybe then win and get a little bit of momentum going, but I just don't see it. I'm also going to eliminate Michael McDowell. He's been good on the road courses and decent everywhere. Ford teams are kind of on the rise a little bit. And so McDowell, obviously driving a Ford, will hit a little bit of momentum. He's got that win. That will give him a little bit of boost. I just don't see it really working out for him here. I think it'll be close, but I do think he will miss the second round of the playoffs. And my final driver getting eliminated, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. I don't think he's really made a lot of noise. I don't really think he really deserves to be in the playoffs. He got the win at the Daytona 500. That's why he's here. I don't see him doing much in the playoffs either. I think he and Bubba Wallace and Michael McDowell will be... he and Bubba Wallace will be like the two that are, definitively many points behind and are just the complete sleeper. And Harvick and McDowell are going to be ones that are contending on the points cut, just aren't going to make it. So, and then the second round of the playoffs begins with Texas. And Texas, the cringe track. I think Kyle Larson's going to win this one. He has been kind of out of the lights for a while, and I think Texas will be the race that he gets back into that momentum and get him into the second round and move on there. And then Talladega, the toss-up, is next in the second round. And this is another kind of a toss-up race, right? And I'm going to pick again. Ooh, this is a toughie. This is a tough one because really anybody can win. Chaos is going to happen. So what will happen? Oh, let's see. We got Stenhouse won the 500. We got, I forget who won the spring race at Talladega. It was Kyle Busch, right? And then Buescher won the summer Daytona race. I'm going to pick Ross Chastain to win Talladega. He's been kind of lying in the dark, and I think this is going to be his chance to shine. He's won at Talladega before, and I think he can get it done again. I think that's going to be the run for him. So, and then finally, the Roval. This is another track where I think Michael McDowell would shine if he was in the next round. I don't have him going there, but if he was moving on to the next round, you could put some money on him possibly moving on to the round of 8 with a win here. But I'm going to say back-to-back Roval wins for Christopher Bell, actually, to get the win and move on to the next round of the playoffs. And who's going to get eliminated? This is another one where you really could go either way at this point. I think Keselowski will sneak by because I think he's just going to have some really good runs in the races and maybe still be able to point his way in. Byron and Truex, I think, are locks. I think this could be a round where we see Denny Hamlin fall out. He's been kind of up and down lately. There's a lot of possible turmoil with him in his contract and sponsorship situations that could possibly see him fall out of the second round. Kyle Larson, Bell, and Chastain all locked in. This could be I think this will be it for Tyler Reddick as well. He hasn't really shown much of stuff as of late. I think it'll be what he's done this season will be enough to get him past the first round, but I don't know about the second round. He might need a win at that point. I don't see him getting through either. Ryan Blaney. Now, Ryan Blaney is kind of a weird one because we don't know what his situation is. He might be injured. After his wreck last night in the Daytona race, He looked a little delirious in his interview. He looked a little out of it. And now, obviously, he probably just maybe had the wind knocked out of him because that was a huge hit that he took in turn 3 head on. So, but if he has a concussion-like symptom, he's going to have to miss a race or two, or maybe even miss the rest of the season. And that could possibly see him getting out in the first round. Then Michael McDowell or Kevin Harvick might move on in this position, and then McDowell might try and sneak through for a win at the Roval and get in, knocking out like Christopher Bell or Ross Chastain or Kyle Larson, or somebody like that who wasn't going to win before. So that could all shake it up. But I'm going to have Ryan Blaney going out in this round, saying that he will race again. He will race next week at Darlington. No sitting out due to injury or anything like that. So that's who I got moving on as well. So I said Hamlin, I said Reddick, and I said Blaney. I think Logano's going to pull out some bullshit and get in, even though he's not sitting in a very comfortable position to start the race or start the playoffs. And so I'm going to give the final axe spot to Kyle Busch. That's going to be kind of controversial as well. He's been having a pretty strong season, especially in his first with RCR. But I think Buescher and Keselowski are going to have some really good runs. I could see Buescher winning Talladega. I could see Busch winning Talladega too, obviously, though. So it really comes down, really just a 50-50 chance. But that's who I'm predicting to not move on. And then the round of 8. Only 4 races left. Who do we think is going to move on after it's all set and done? So Las Vegas. This is another one where it's difficult. Who do we pick? And I hate to say it. Nah, I'm not going to move Logano on. Not going to move Logano on. I think this is going to be end for Logano this round. A little hint. This could be a Harvick track. This could be a Kyle Busch hometown victory. But I've already eliminated both of them. So how about we give the win to? How about we give Brad Keselowski the win? How about that? He finally breaks through and gets the win and moves on to the Final Four. How about that? Let's move him in. He's been having some strong runs, and I think it's going to equate to a victory at some point in the playoffs. Whether it's to move on, I don't know. It's kind of a little bit of a dark horse shot too. But again, he's been having really, really solid runs. RFK as well is very much on the uptick in competitiveness again, and I think that's going to equate to a win. And then Homestead. I think Homestead is going to be a Byron win to lock him into the Final Four. He's been pretty good there, and I just don't see him not pulling off the win here. So, pretty easy there. And then the cutoff race in the round of 8, Martinsville. And this is another toughie, because I've already locked in Byron. I've already locked in Keselowski. So you got a lot of other strong drivers trying to get that final spot. But I'm going to give it to Martin Truex Jr. for the win here. And lock himself in. Though I think he'd be okay on points anyways. I think that's the position we want to put him in. And then who's getting eliminated this time? I think this is it for Christopher Bell, Kyle Larson, and Ross Chastain, honestly. I think they're all getting eliminated here. Not really a big surprise in my opinion. I just don't see any of them being able to contend for the win. And so that would leave only Logano or Buescher as the last driver to get eliminated. And I'm honestly going to give it to Buescher. Buescher's going to make the Final Four. Both RFK cars in the Final Four with William Byron and Martin Truex Jr. Two big front-running favorites and two semi-underdogs. They would have been massive underdogs about a month ago. But with Buescher getting 3 wins and with Keselowski also running very strong, him also possibly getting a win. I got Buescher and Keselowski both getting a playoff win. I think we could see them both make the Final Four. I would not be this is not a very surprising Final Four in my opinion, but it is a little bit of an out there choice. So now we move on to Phoenix. Who do I think is going to win Phoenix? And, RFK got this far, but I just don't see them winning this. I think they're going to still call it a really good season. I mean, that would be, if Buescher and Keselowski both do get a playoff win, that would be 5 wins for RFK this season. Both cars winning the race, both of them making the Final Four. I think compared to a position that they were in even last year, even though Buescher did win, Keselowski was terrible all season. Neither car made the playoffs. I think that is a great spot to be in, and more of a testament to their early 2010s, late 2000s-esque, what we were seeing out of the camp is coming back, and I think we're going to see more of that next season. So it comes down to Martin Truex and William Byron. I just don't see Byron having the most contending car, so the championship would go to Martin Truex Jr. in my book, his second championship, and a very deserving one nonetheless. He has had a very, very strong run all season long, winning the regular season championship and really keeping himself out of trouble. There's been a lot of questions. Is he going to retire soon? He debunked the retirement rumors earlier this year. And how about fully debunk them by saying, I'm here to stay, I'm still champion, and win the championship? That would be really, really cool. So, well, that's my playoff predictions. It can go anyway. I mean, we got a lot of unpredictable tracks in the playoffs. We got a lot of unpredictable drivers, some on the uptick, some that are kind of and some are just no question that they are not going anywhere. So, in the playoffs. So, it'll be interesting to see what happens, but I want to hear your guys' predictions. Drop your Cup playoff predictions in the comments section down below. What do you think of mine, and what are yours? So love to hear all of them. So, and if you want to hear more playoff analysis from all the drivers and all the tracks and everything, as well as Hitmaster's predictions and our reactions to Daytona and a more in-depth preview of Darlington, just stay tuned for the next episode of the Talking NASCAR podcast. It's our 50th episode. I cannot believe it. That is awesome. Cannot wait. So, until next time, though, see you guys later. Goodbye.